Welcome. Welcome. Yes, it's back to pre-recorded Sunday chat.
Sunday chat!
With just a little bit more glamour.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I've got a light now.
I thought you were going to do your hair all powery like that woman.
No, when you came into the dressing room and I looked like I had an afro, I was just combing it through.
Oh,
That's
right,
what happens when I brush it through. It goes bigger and bigger and bigger.
It does.
Until it looks like a huge wig.
But there's the wife of the dictator in The Power on Prime. Your hair looked exactly like her wig.
Yeah, exactly. I know. But then, about 10 minutes later, it all starts to go flat. As the air dissipates. I've always been blessed with big hair.
Yeah, you have, haven't you?
Yeah, my mum had big hair as well when she was a young person. And my granny used to brush it furiously. And it just used to stand out like crystal tips. Do you remember that?
Alistair.
Crystal tips and Alistair.
Alistair.
You don't say Alistair.
I thought it was Crystal Tips and Alistair.
That's how you spell Alistair, Paul.
I know, but I didn't think it was Alistair.
Crystal Tips and Alistair. Thank you, Paul. Let's move on now. Welcome. Bloody welcome, and thank you for...
Sunday chat!
Jesus, Mary, Mother of God.
Just thought I'd get another one in there.
Thank you for tuning in this week. We have been doing live shows, as many of you have been joining in. Some of you haven't enjoyed it.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Thank you anyway for your comments. And many of you have. Many of you have enjoyed the live interaction with
What is saying?
I meant to say with me and Paul, but then I backtracked because it should be Paul and I. And it just went, and I had a glitch.
Yeah.
I glitched.
Yeah.
Because I'm a virtual reality.
You're not.
Let's move on with the show, shall we? Before it all descends into complete and utter chaos. So.
It's going.
What was I going to say?
Weather?
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, shush now.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Shush now.
I haven't got the list.
Quite muscly.
Look.
Don't, Paul. Don't. I've got time for things like that. Although we did see a couple of willies on TV the other day, didn't we? As we were flicking through. I said, Paul, quickly turn over before you get any ideas.
Honestly.
Anyway. I'm getting all hot and bothered now. I don't know, but we did switch over rather sharpishly.
It was like naked hiking.
They were hiking, and they were full frontal.
Yeah. There we are. That's completely thrown me down.
Yes, welcome to new subscribers. We've had a few recently join us on the channel, and thank you. Thank you, bloody thank you. And also, we'd like to begin by wishing Andrew and David a very, very happy birthday. Happy birthday and enjoy your holiday.
Is that a joint birthday?
Well, I assume so, because the message was to wish them both a happy birthday.
Oh, right. There we are.
Thank you. We do hope you have a joyful time. Sincerely. I was being sincere.
Oh, it's so difficult sometimes to judge whether you're being sincere or not.
I know, but that's the joy of living with me.
For 30 years. 30 years.
Yeah, but look at what fun you've had.
Yeah. It has mostly been sort of good, hasn't it? Yeah. Mostly.
Yeah.
There have been sort of dark times as well.
Well, we've had a lot to deal with in the past 30 years. I mean, God knows how many people have died.
I mean, life, it just throws things out. It does. It's just life, isn't it? It's sort of ups and downs. Everyone goes through them. Some people have more challenging lives than others. Some are very wealthy and don't think about anybody and have great lives. So, yeah, there we are.
Yeah, some are complete and utter povos, like we are. But sound...
What's that?
A povo?
Yeah.
Poor person. Poverty.
Oh, I wouldn't
Povo.
say we're poor.
Oh, really?
Well, liquid assets.
Can't afford to heat our home.
No, I know. But we're in the same situation as so many other people, really.
No, I know. That's what I mean. And what did they say? What did the Bank of England man say the other day? People will have now in the UK will have to accept that they're poor.
Yeah, have to get used to it.
Get used to it.
Honestly, how insensitive was that
Totally
comment?
insensitive from somebody with a 6-figure salary,
Yeah.
who's probably never experienced any kind of poverty whatsoever.
Most probably owns his own home. Most probably kids own their own homes.
Well,
Yeah.
of course he owns his own home.
Well, we don't know that.
That's not
but
an
most
obvious thing.
No, I mean not have a mortgage. That's what I mean. So you don't have those escalating interest rates. Don't have any effect on him. That's what I mean.
Oh, blah, 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 perky bosoms. Which I have now, actually. I'm now not afraid to get my tits out. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was watching some television. Yeah, it was television. And there was this advert. And this man was washing himself with some kind of body wash.
Dove. It was Dove. Dove.
And he was rubbing his...
Other things are available from other people.
Yeah, whatever.
shops,
Shush
things.
now.
Yeah.
And he was rubbing his chest.
It was, yeah. Hairy chest.
His sexy hairy chest. And I thought to myself, isn't it weird how it's acceptable, pour l'homme...
Dans advertisement.
Oh, that means nothing, Paul. You
In
just
an
made that up.
advertisement.
What?
In an advertisement.
Yeah, isn't it weird how it's acceptable for a man to sexually rub himself on the chest, but not a woman? If there was a woman at primetime TV rubbing her boobies in the shower...
With all foamy and things.
There would be absolute uproar.
Yeah.
Wouldn't there?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird, isn't it? It's a strange world we live in.
If we're going to have equality and equity, let's have equality and equity. That's what I want. I mean, we were so shocked by it, we had to rewind and watch it 6 times to make sure we were actually watching what we were watching.
And the thing is about social media, the minute you look at a naked man on Instagram, you then get hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Every moment.
There was one I looked at recently, this guy, that I thought, gosh, he's got a really big nose. And then I just got lots of sort of near naked men after that. And the only reason I'd stopped on it is I was really surprised by the size of his nose.
Oh.
Yeah, it took me by surprise. Yeah. Yeah, so there we are. Weather. Are we going to start?
Kakadoo. Yes. Welcome to Richard and Paul's Weather Report. Paul, what has the weather been like this week?
It's been mixed, hasn't it?
It has, very mixed. It's getting warmer gradually.
Yeah. Even nighttime temperatures. I think last night it was 6 degrees and I think it was 3 degrees earlier in the week. So we're beginning to get sort of warmer weather now.
3 degrees. Do you remember the 3 degrees?
I do.
Oh, I used to love the 3 degrees.
My favourite was... Oh, no, it wasn't. No, Chain Reaction was Diana Ross, wasn't
Precious
it?
moment.
You're not allowed to sing.
When will I see you again? When will we share precious moments?
There we are. So, yeah, it's getting warmer, it's getting sunnier. Cucumbers and courgettes have germinated. That's excited, yeah. They know it's getting warmer, so they've decided to pop themselves up.
How do they know? How do they know?
They've got a long-term weather forecast.
No, but how do they know? How
well,
do
they just
plants
feel it, don't
How
they?
do they feel it, though, Paul?
Well, there is actually a lot of research being done at the moment on whether plants do actually feel things.
I think they do.
So it's a bit like sort of beans. How do beans find a pole to get,
with their grabbers,
spin up? And the thing is, the wind will blow them, and when they feel themselves hitting something, they'll sort of start to
Grab it.
grow towards that so that they can spiral round it. So yeah, do plants feel things?
Well, there
There's
was a
so much
study.
research.
There was a
research being
study
done.
done a long time ago, and there was a book called The Secret Life of Plants. I've got it somewhere. In fact, it actually belongs to somebody else, but I lost touch with that person and never gave it back, which is terribly remiss of me.
Well, you
I
never
can't
gave
even-
it back, then you lost touch with
I
them.
can't even remember their name, but hey. And they attached these things to the plant.
The bees back in the chimney.
There's a bee in the chimney.
They attach the feeling things to plants.
The electrodes to the plants, and then they harmed the plant, and the plant went, ah!
They've also done tests. I think it was with beans, where they planted beans in a trough, and they planted them in a line, and they watered this end, and didn't water this end. And what they found is that the roots from this end could sense the water and were growing towards the water coming this end, which I thought was absolutely fascinating. I mean, it's quite obvious that that would happen, but it's fascinating to know that it's been scientifically proven.
But, so there must be like little cells in the plant that can go and look for those things.
Yeah, sense them. But how do they sense them without a brain? That's the thing. So, yeah, very interesting.
Ooh. So the weather, yes, getting warmer. It has been a little bit wet
Yeah.
in places,
Yeah.
but that's been good because it's good for the garden. The garden's looking very lush.
It is.
At
And
the
things
moment.
are growing at the plot as well.
And I did manage to do a tiny bit of gardening last week
You
in
did?
the rain.
You did?
In the rain.
Yeah.
It was quite enjoyable. Enjoyable. Good. Good, good, good. So, work updates. So I was off yesterday.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Which is kind of one of the reasons why we've got a little bit more sort of flexibility this weekend. We did a lot of work around the house, didn't we, Paul?
We did.
A
We
lot
did.
of work. I mean, really, it was kind of like spring cleaning.
It
wasn't
was, yeah.
Yesterday, wiping floors, wiping door surrounds, just making sure everything is spotlessly clean.
And I did the kitchen, didn't I? Apart from the hob. I did everything apart from the hob because I knew I was going to be cooking today, so I thought I'm not going to do the hob, I'll do that tomorrow. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I gave the kitchen floor, a really good clean. It was really filthy because I'd neglected it. Normally when I wash the kitchen floor, the water's slightly grey, while it was really dark grey, which is disgusting. But it's one of those jobs that during the winter, you kind of don't want to do it too often because it basically sends a load of moisture into the atmosphere.
But we've been doing so many other things in the house as well. You know, I think it's, you know, you always have to prioritise things in life, don't you?
You do.
And you know, it was dirty. It wasn't filthy, if you see what I mean.
Well, it wasn't my book.
And we're not eating off the floor anyway, you know. So, yeah, other things are prioritised. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's all go still in the household of Richard and Paul.
And we have the estate agent who we will be going with coming in and meeting us next week.
Yeah.
So we'll have more news on that next
Yeah,
week.
we're going to be starting that process very, very soon. There's quite a lot of jobs to do. There's 4 of these pages worth of jobs to do, which we're getting through and got through probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got through 12 of those jobs yesterday.
So of those 4 pages, how much do those 12 jobs make up? A page and a half?
Well, they're not filled. I mean, the pages aren't filled. They're bullet points. Le point de boulet.
Have you ever thought about being a politician?
Look, there.
Just answer the question.
I don't know. I'd have to add them all up and do an average.
About a page, maybe?
No.
Less than a page?
Almost a page.
Almost.
Thank
page.
you, Paul.
There we are.
Shush now. Stop it. Right, so yes. So my working week reverts to part-time from next week.
Mm-hmm.
So which I'm really relieved about. Because it's been 6 months.
It has.
It's been 6 months of doing full-time work. And it, to be honest, the slowness of my employer at getting somebody else has been really noticeable. And I've been slightly angry about it, to be honest, because we'd have been far more in control of what we needed to do by now. But hey, you know, I've had to sort of weigh it up, and the money actually was more important this winter, so we could pay the bills. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, really. What, you'd have rather we'd have been even more poor?
No.
Well, what do you mean then?
No, I mean it has delayed things, and that's been frustrating. The money has been very useful, but the delay has meant obviously that we have been paying mortgage and all of that much longer. You know, we could have moved by now if that hadn't happened.
Oh, always living in the past.
No,
always living in the past.
I'm just saying.
Can't bring himself into the here and now.
I'm here. I'm now.
Yes, I am here now.
So yes, that was your working week. My working week.
Also, I hadn't finished.
Oh right, okay.
I hadn't finished. It was incredibly busy. Incredibly busy at work. Really, no, it was. No, it really was. Just saying.
That's it. That's what you interrupted me for.
Yes, that's important just to say that. Well, it was important to me when I was sat at work going, oh my God,
No,
I'm
absolutely.
I got an eyelash.
Oh, I had one the other day. It was like there for 24 hours. It was really annoying. Gone? They're so irritating, aren't they?
Yes.
So yeah, I had a little change to my working week this week. I will be going to see Vanessa for her sake in the next week or so, which is great. But I actually went in to see Jenny Seagrove.
Lovely Jenny.
Yeah, actress, and also she has her own. She has the horse sanctuary, main chant sanctuary, down near where Vanessa is. And I went in to see...
Main chants. M-A-N-E. Chants.
Yeah, sanctuary.
Yeah, well, maybe people didn't hear you because you went...
Maybe I was going to go on to explain what main chants was.
You may continue.
And the spelling.
You may continue.
So I took the Elizabeth line into Paddington.
That's the new tube line.
It is, yeah. Well, train line, isn't it? It's a train line.
It's a tube.
Yeah.
It's a bloody tube.
It's, to be honest, to get into Paddington, it took me just as long as it normally would do with a normal train. I didn't realise that from our local station, Hanwell Station, there was still just going to be 4 trains an hour. I thought there were going to be more trains per hour than 4. Because there were 4 trains an hour before. And actually it took longer to get into Paddington than it normally would do. So it hasn't speeded that bit up. But I think from then on it does speed up your journey if you're sort of travelling further eastwards. But I got off at Paddington, walked to Bill Kenwright's offices because that's where we were meeting. Jenny Seagrove is Bill Kenwright's partner. And I worked for Bill for 4 years from 1996 to 2000. In fact, it will be soon in a week's time. It will be 23 years since I left.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
It was really interesting to go into a building that I worked in, 23 years ago, and see all the posters in particular that I'd worked on all those years ago. And yeah, it was just fascinating.
Skip to the interesting part. You saw Jenny.
Yeah, so I saw Jenny. We had a meeting. She had one of her other trustees from Maine Chance. And as Richard said, that's MANE Chance Sanctuary, i.e.
Look them up.
horses, Horse Maine. And we had a really good time talking about communications of the charity and strategy of how they might plan communications going forward. So that was really, really good. And I also met Bill. And I haven't seen Bill for 23 years as well. I mean, not person to person. And it was interesting because I went into Bill's offices, or his office at the top, and there was a heads of department meeting going on, or a staff meeting going on. And that just took me right back to the heads of department meetings that we used to have on a daily basis when I worked there. Which weren't always joyous, I have to say. They were sort of challenging on many occasions. But yeah, it was just funny to literally transport myself back in time and revisit this building and people that, not in Jenny's case, but other people that I hadn't seen for 23 years. Fascinating, yeah. Really enjoyed it. So,
Good,
yeah.
Paul. So that was a little extra thing for your working week.
It
A little
was.
trip out.
It was.
Out and a bite.
And that's the first trip for work into London. I know we're on the outskirts of London, but that's the first trip into London that I've had since Easter 2018. So even, well before the pandemic, I haven't needed to go into central London. And actually, we could have met closer to me. Jenny was quite happy to meet closer to me, but I thought, no, a trip into Paddington, that's fine.
Paul.
So, yeah.
Thank you. My nose. Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you, Paul. How interesting. So,
And it's been a busy week for our sake as well, that we've been doing various posters, and of course we've got the coronation coming up in a week's time. There are 3 bank holidays throughout May, so there's posters and messaging about when the shop's going to be closed and things like that. So it's been quite busy with For Our Sake as well this week. Yeah.
I think I'm going to decide to close on the bank holiday as well.
I think we'll be painting or doing something like that.
No, I'm closed that day.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm not available. So, in the news this week, Paul, what interesting nuggets have been in the news?
What interesting nuggets have been in the news?
Well, the emergency alert, that was a damp squib, wasn't it?
It was.
We didn't get it.
No.
We perished in the emergency because we weren't prepared.
I think as it's mainly for nuclear fallout or something like that, I think we perish anyway.
It's not. It's for extreme weather events. They're not going to send you They're not going to send you an emergency alert if there's a nuclear bomb on the way.
Oh, I don't know.
Because what's the point?
Well, exactly.
If
yeah.
it's going to be,
Yeah.
aimed at London, we'll just go out and watch the mushroom cloud.
Yeah. So I was going to the plot, and I actually came back to make sure that my tablet, which has got a SIM card in it, was off, because I thought, if I'm down there and it goes off, then you might not know how to switch it off.
I was upstairs and I was doing something else, and I came down, I think about 3:15, and thought, there was no emergency alert. I didn't hear one. I certainly didn't hear people screaming in the streets. I mean, I know it was a test. It was a test. But they'll have to test it again.
Well, they'll have to test it again, yeah.
Because loads of people didn't get it.
I mean, we were watching Have I Got News For You last night, and they said on there that 60% of the people, only 40% of the people in the UK got it. I mean, that's...
Also in the news this week, to do with the coronation, the Stone of Destiny is making its way from Scotland
Scotland,
to London
Yeah.
for the coronation. What on earth? This guy's going to sit on this wooden throne with a stone underneath him while they chuck olive oil on his head. Really, this is just ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And, people say, but it's tradition. It's not a tradition.
Well,
Really.
it is a tradition.
No, it's not.
It must have come in at some point.
Because look, How often does it happen? That's not tradition. Traditions happen regularly. This does not happen regularly.
Well, it happens every coronation, so
but
that's
how
pretty
regular
regularly.
is that? Not really. Not really. I mean, it's ridiculous.
What is the stone? What is?
It's a stone.
What's the
it's
significance?
A big square. Well, I tried to find out, but it doesn't really tell you anything about it. It was made in blah 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 by this person, and it's used at coronations.
Oh,
and then somebody nicked it from London and took it back to Scotland.
Scotland.
And then it comes back down for occasions like this.
So it has a little holiday.
It's a bloody stone. The stone doesn't care.
No, I'm sure it doesn't.
I mean,
No.
it's not even made out of quartz crystal. If it was a big quartz crystal stone or an amethyst that had been carved into a beautiful, beautiful thing, it's not. It's just a lump of rock. I've got a couple of stones they can have in the back garden.
Well, we have at the allotment as well.
Yeah.
I do think the coronation quiche is interesting.
I do too, because it's food.
It's food, yeah, but I mean, you know, it's seasonal, and I think
And it's
looks quite
vegetarian,
good.
apart from the lard in the pastry.
It is, yeah. So you can make it vegetarian.
Yeah.
And Jack Munro, I saw that she has done a recipe on in the Guardian where she's done her version. I think 41p a portion, where she swaps out broad beans for peas. So yeah, I noticed that.
I don't rate her, sorry. I really don't.
Oh,
I don't
you're
rate her.
so mean.
I think she's not really got a handle on poverty.
Oh, I think she absolutely
No, I
has
don't
got a
think she
handle on
has.
poverty.
I think she lives
Absolutely.
in an unreal world.
No.
Yeah,
no,
she does, because
no.
she's rich.
No,
she's
rich
rich
not
now.
rich.
Of course she
She's
is.
not.
Of course she is.
She's
Paul.
not.
Anybody tells you that she isn't is lying.
No, I'm a great Jack Munro fan.
No, not me.
No, not me.
It's all been done before. Delia Smith was doing all of that years ago.
Yeah, I know, but we need it now, and it's good
You can
that
buy
it's
the
being
Delia
done.
Smith book. Jack Monroe. Anyway, Paul, it's good to disagree on things.
It is, especially when
healthy.
I know I'm right.
It's healthy.
Yeah. Next.
Paul, what have we watched on television this week, Paul?
Well, we've continued with the Magpie murders. Not the Magpie murders, Magpie murders. Which I think the last couple of episodes have been a bit speedier, but I still find it a little bit slow. I love Leslie Manville when she's on screen, and I love the, yeah, but it could be a bit speedier, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, meh, whatever. It's watchable, but yeah, it's not really that good. I didn't think.
Oh, I think it is good. I think it's good because
okay.
it looks at two different time periods using the same actors in different characters in different time periods, and I think that's a really interesting read and a really interesting watch.
Oh, it's also National Gardening Week next week, just to get that one in.
It
and
is.
Coming up is also National Vegetarian Week as well.
Yeah, that's
So
in May.
we're going to try and do something for that week on our Facebook group, Planet Vegetaria. That's a Facebook group by Richard and Paul. Richard and Paul since 2017, as contractual.
So that was Magpie Murders, and what else have we watched? We watched
GG, MM, FB and QT.
I'm lost with those.
Golden Girls.
Oh, Golden Girls, yeah.
Magpie Murders. FB. Father Brown. Question Time. We continue with The Power.
Yeah.
It's a little bit heavy, to be honest.
That's on Prime.
It's a bit heavy.
It is a bit heavy, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm definitely enjoying it.
It's okay.
Yeah. And we also started watching Ruby Wax,
Castaway.
which again is a bit of a challenging watch in some ways, but is really interesting.
So this is a reprise of the same series that Joanna Lumley did a long time ago now, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
where she was put onto a desert island and had to survive for 10 days or something. So Ruby Wax is doing the same. I mean, it raises all sorts of questions, doesn't it? Could you do it yourself? You know, I mean, she had that shelter built for her, but then had to survive the night through a cyclone
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
things crawling around, and I wouldn't do it.
I'm afraid as soon as they showed the boa constrictors that are on the island, it was like, no, I don't think I could do that.
No.
I mean, you know, a lovely tropical island with rain, okay, but creatures that could kill you, I'm not sure I could do that.
Well, we did Bali,
I know, but
living in a raffia house.
yeah, but that was hardly the same,
Well,
was
a
it?
snake could have got in if it wanted to.
Well, there was that huge snake that was
Exactly,
on our
Paul.
huge. That was a boa, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you
Something,
know, we only had a few days of luxury.
we did,
Didn't
but
we?
but we weren't in the middle of
We weren't
the monkey
abandoned.
forest jungle.
We
in
weren't
the jungle.
Shush now, Paul. You're
No.
getting too excited now. You've had too much coffee. I had chamomile.
You did, yeah. But
So-
it's been interesting.
Yeah, all right,
When
blah, blah, blah.
Joanna Lumley went, did she have the camera crew there, or did she have her own cameras? I can't remember.
I think she had camera crew at certain points, and then I think she was left alone on for a certain length of time.
Where I think with Ruby Wax, she's alone on the
Yeah.
island,
Yeah.
setting up her own cameras
Yeah.
and doing her own filming.
So we also watched Dalglish,
And what was that on? Was that on Channel 5?
Channel 5 for Ruby Wax.
Yeah. And also for Dalglish, which we started watching.
Yeah, again, whatever. It's another detective show.
I liked
All
Dalglish.
detective shows.
Um,
My chandelier looks clean though.
Interestingly, Bridie worked on that series of Dalglish.
Did she?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. She's working on Grace at the moment.
Good.
They're filming that.
Lovely.
She's working on that. Yeah.
So that's virtually it for TV. And that's virtually it for this week's episode of Sunday Chat.
Sunday Chat!
Yes. So whether or not we'll be live next week, I don't know. We'll just have to see whether we've got time. Oh, it's Coronation Weekend.
It's Coronation
And
Weekend.
of course, I'll be back to part-time, so it is a good chance of pre-recording.
There we are.
A good chance for pre-recording.
I think we might do a live at some point later
Like an
in the
extra
day.
live.
No, later in the day.
Later in the day.
Instead of at 11 o'clock, we might do it at 2 or 3 o'clock for people who may be more...
Viewers in other time zones.
Yeah. On the other side of the Atlantic.
So let's say goodbye, and we'll see you very soon for more fun and frolics.
Yeah.
Take care.
See you very soon.
Bye.
Have a good week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.